drivers would tend to suggest otherwise. Let's talk to Grant Harrold, though, and find out what is going on here, because, of course, there are times when it is permissible to tell lies. Grant, a very good afternoon to you. Welcome back.
Good afternoon, sir. The poor people of Nottingham, I feel so sorry for them. It's what a thing to be labelled with that. But
well, they were famous for Robin Hood, weren't they? Taking from the rich and giving to the poor.
That's a good point, and I think we all love Robin Hood. So, yeah.
Well, I mean, we're not going to talk about men in tights at this point, but the problem is, if somebody finds money on the street, it's quite difficult to know what to do now, isn't it? Because, I mean, I'll tell you, my story was, I was walking out of the office here one day, a few months ago, and I came upon one of these, it was a debit card, basically, lying on the ground, and I picked it up, and I thought, now, what do I do with this? Because it wasn't close enough to a shop to walk into the shop and say, somebody's dropped this. So I thought, okay, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll go to maybe, and it had somebody's name on it, but no other information. I went to the tube station and I said to them, I don't know whether you have a lost property place here, but if somebody's lost this near the station, they might come and look for it. And they said, well, we only have the central lost property place in Baker Street. So if you give it to us, that's where it'll end up. And the woman actually says to me, why don't you do a bit of private detective work and see if you can find them on Facebook, which I did, and I found the woman concerned, and she was delighted, and I was able to get in touch with her on Facebook, so she wasn't frightened when I rang her. It was like a free, it was one of these Facebook calls, because I think people would be concerned. They'd go, you've just stolen this, haven't you, in order to contact me. But it's very, because of the world in which we now live, you have to be so careful.
You do, and I'm probably too trustworthy, like yourself. If I find something, I'll do my best to return it, whether, as you said, it's not always easy at the police station. But, if you find, I've even found pairs of gloves and just things that have, not huge value, but I try to place them near where I found them, hoping that somebody will come back and retrieve them.
Yes.
It doesn't always happen, and the dangerous bit is somebody else will come along and think, well, that's a lovely pair of gloves, and off they go with them.
Right.
So it's a real tricky one, but as far as etiquette goes, it's a bit of a minefield, because obviously we shouldn't lie. Everyone will always say there's nothing wrong with a little white lie, and I think in etiquette there is an extent of that, because how many times have we seen somebody that's been dressed in the most ghastly outfit, and you say, oh, you look lovely,
yes.
or they've got a scent, a perfume on, and it's not not fantastic smelling, but you can't say to them, oh, you smell awful.
What about people that wear too much perfume? What can you say to them?
Well, it's a bit difficult, isn't it? I mean, apart from kind of standing and looking as if you're about to pass out, you've got to kind of be polite and maybe don't say anything. Maybe don't make comment. I mean, I've one or two people I've probably shocked over the years where I said, "Oh, you've got a lovely scent," and they're a bit kind of, "Wow, did they actually smell nice?"
Because that could be seen as a kind of a bit of a harassment type situation.
It can. So you've got to be so careful to get the right balance.
I mean, if I walk past somebody in the office, right, a woman or a man, and I said, "You smell great," I would consider that to be a no-no. I just don't think I could do that.
Especially if the men start following you around.
Well, exactly.
But this is the problem, and that's why you've got to be a little bit careful of who. So if I said it to somebody now, it would definitely be somebody that I know really well. And say I was meeting them, or we were going out for drinks or dinner or lunch, whatever, and I would say to them, "Oh, you look lovely," or "You smell." But even if they had something that I thought that didn't look right, you're not going to say to them, "Oh, why on earth are you wearing? You're going to wear that," unless it's possibly your other half. Hopefully, when it's your other half, you are going to say to them, "You look awful in that," or "You smell that."
Well, you say that, but that could also be a dangerous area, because it's like the old-fashioned "Does my bum look big in this?" question.
Well,
and if you ever answer yes, that's the end, really.
It is the end. And yeah, quite right. I remember many years ago when I was a teenager, so quite a while back, and my very first job at this private house in Scotland, and we had a new housekeeping lady who started, and she put a uniform on, and she was kind of looking, and I was trying to be polite, and she said, "Do I look okay in this?" And she didn't. It was a bit tight fitting, but I didn't want to say anything.
Right.
And I'm going, "You look lovely," trying to be polite. And what I didn't realise was that she'd actually, when she'd put the skirt on, she'd managed to somehow tuck. She'd been to the loo and got her skirt.
Oh God, that's not good. Yeah.
And I was too embarrassed to say anything, and I was trying to work out how to say something without being rude, and at which point somebody else came in and said to her, "Oh God, don't go out the door," and then she's saying to me, "Why did you not say something?"
Right.
So I have, and recently another quick example. I was flying from Inverness down to Bristol, and at the airport, this lady came out the loo, and she had a loo roll actually tucked. It was coming out of the back of her skirt, and I stood there and I looked, and I thought I have to say something because she can't walk right. So I went up and I said, "I'm terribly sorry. You appear to have some loo roll coming out of your rear end," and she was absolutely mortified, raced in, and then when she came back out, she was like, "Thank you so much." And so you do have to say. So you wouldn't on that occasion say to somebody, "Oh, you look lovely. Carry on." Because that would just be crazy.
Well,
so
of course. But you're a very brave man, Grant. What about, have you ever lost anything and then had it returned?
No, sadly I haven't, and I have lost. Oh, actually I have. I lost a wallet. I lost a wallet a few years ago at a friend's home, and I couldn't find it. But of course, this is a friend. Of course, they're going to suddenly say to you, "Oh, I found your wallet." But luckily, I lost a mobile phone once in the States, and I never got that returned.
Yeah, I lost a mobile phone once in a New York taxi. And actually got it back. No, I got it back.
Got it back?
Yeah, the guy who found it rang the first number that he could see in there, which happened to be my sister's number, who works in New York, and she then was able to put him in touch with me. So I was amazed. It was really great. And he wouldn't accept any, because I was like, I must be able to give you some kind of reward, and he wouldn't accept anything. I had to meet him on a street corner in Park Avenue. Gave me the phone. I said, "Well, can I, buy you lunch or anything like that?" He's like, "No. I'll just use
God,
this
what a gentleman.
I'll just use this as good karma, and hopefully something similar will happen to me."
But there's a question: what happens if you find a lottery ticket?
Well,
then what do you do?
Well,
piece of paper. Do you obviously return it? Well, I would. Or is there somebody going to look at it and think, "Oh, that could be the big one"?
Yeah.
You know?
Well, maybe you check it first and then you hand it back in.
Check it first, and then go to them and then say, "I think this is a winner. Can we share it?"
Yes.
And the other thing is, if somebody does return money or something of serious value, I think it is a really nice gesture to actually give something back. I'm a huge believer in the pay it forward idea. I think, depending on what we're talking about, if we're talking about £10, you might say, "Oh, here's a couple of quid to go and get a coffee to say thank you" or something.
Yeah.
Or if it's a serious amount of money, then it's up to the individual what they want to do. But I think it's important because then it also says to people that you appreciate it, the fact they went to that effort.
Yes, no, absolutely right. Grant, listen, as ever, thank you very much indeed. Grant Harrold there at the Royal Butler, giving us the etiquette of what to do when you find something in the street. The point is, if you were to find...